will not have to pay any taxes.
Now the government, when they have come with such a slab rate or such a budget, what does it depict
See coming our way.
in the MSME sector?
Yes.
This budget has set the trajectory for the same. AI, firstly, we have to understand that is here to make our life easier. It is not that it will take jobs.
Setting up of GCCs. Old regime had lot of rebates.
500 crore AI mission started a Stargate program, the electronic manufacturing. That it is a lot of unemployment. But on the contrary, if we see a lot of happenings are also undertaking like skilling, reskilling.
In which manner and which direction? Will it go down? Will it go up? So today I have my friends Ajay and Shrey with me, who will be joining us for today's session, which we are like going to have a friendly discussion over coffee about the new Indian Union budget, which has recently been announced by our Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. So I would like to welcome our guests
Thank
for
you.
today, and they are the experts in the field of when it comes to accounting and finance, and they have been here for like quite a few years now. So I would like them to actually introduce themselves rather than me, so that they can let us know. So what are we going to know from each of you? Shrey,
Okay.
give us a little introduction so that our audience knows about you.
Surely. Hi everyone. Hi Jigarjit. I am Shrey Sood. I am equity research analyst, and here I'll be discussing the budget industry prospects. Like if we can go dive into energy and EV sector, followed by IT, and any other questions if asked upon, I will be comfortable to answering the same. Thirdly, would be that I have an experience of more than 5 years into equity segment, and I am also MBA finance. So this all will encompass in today's discussion.
How about you, Ajay? So,
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm a CA into practice from last 7 years. So we have gathered here to discuss about the budget.
yeah. So I would like to know, let my audience know that we have been getting together for quite few time now. So this time we are just here for the information we want to give you guys.
Right.
So let's start with a very basic question. So we have seen that the new tax regime has been tweaked a bit, and there are new laws that they want to pass in the form of the tax bill. So what are your opinions about it? So is it actually going to help the people that much जितना उसका hype हो रहा है, या is it not that much of a deal? So Ajay.
No, actually, the government has very well taken the budget for the benefit of the middle sector, actually, because the salaried person, basically, middle sector is earning a salary around 10 12 lakhs. And they're given the tax rebate of till 12 lakhs, they don't have to pay any taxes. In salary, it is standard deduction of 75,000. So they don't have to pay the tax for 12 lakh 75,000. So the
Okay.
normal person, and also the slab rates has been increased. So first of all, in the new scheme, it was 15 lakhs, then it was 30%, and now it's above 24 lakhs, it's 30%.
That's quite a jump.
Yeah.
So how about if we dig bit deeper into the price? So let's say somebody has a salary of around 13 lakhs.
Yeah.
So what do you think? How much savings will that person have as compared to last year, last fiscal year? I mean.
13 lakhs person will have not much of a savings, but yes, 10 20,000 in tax it will be for sure.
And how about our finance minister, Mrs. Sitharaman, told a specific line in her session. So she said that people who are earning up till 12 lakhs will not have to pay any taxes.
Yes.
So put some light on that. So is it technically correct to say that, or do we have some loopholes there?
No, actually, it is very well correct because we don't have to pay a single penny
Mhm.
if we are earning up to 12 lakhs. And even if a salaried person is earning up to 12 lakh 75,000, they don't have to pay any single penny to the government. But if you're earning more than even rupee one more than that, you have to pay the tax from 4 lakhs. So that
Okay.
is why they are saying the slabs rate, which is starting from 4 lakh rupees.
Okay. So when we say that the slab rate is starting from 4 lakhs,
Yes.
so then we move on to 6 lakhs, I think.
8 lakhs.
8 lakhs, then 5 to 8, and
Yes.
then what's the next?
Actually, it's a
tax
very
cut?
easy calculation. It's
Okay.
like table of 4.
Okay, 4, 8, 12.
8, 12, 16, 20, and 24.
Okay.
And for the tax rates, it's a table of 5.
Mhm.
Like 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and 30.
Okay. So actually, the zero tax rate is
Yeah.
up till 4 lakhs,
4 lakhs.
and then
And
we
then
claim
you
the. What are the sections under which we still get the rebates? Because I think there is some changes in that as well.
Yes, of course. In the new scheme, we don't have get much of a sections of deductions like
Mhm.
if we were used to do it in old schemes. Right now, also old scheme is there, but yeah, it's giving less benefits. But in new scheme, we can get under 2 sections. That is for 24 section, 24 subsection B for rentals. If you
Mhm.
are having a property and you're giving it on rental basis and you're
Okay.
having a home loan on that,
Mhm.
you can get the reduction of interest on the home loan
Mhm.
only for the rental property, not for self-occupied. There's a catch actually.
Okay.
And secondly, you can get the reduction regarding NPS because the government wants to promote the national pension scheme. As you very well know that the pension is almost negligible now in the government sector also.
I agree.
So they are giving the reduction, but that too of the employer contribution, not of the employer.
Okay. And I have also heard that there are some changes in the TDS, TCS segment. Are there some changes?
Yes.
Like deductions?
Yes.
What are
there
the changes if you?
There are many sections actually for the basic person. They are giving benefit to the old senior citizens.
Mhm.
So first of all, we used to get the TDS deduction from under section 184A. That is for 10% of deduction on the rent on the interest.
Mhm.
Like first of like you're having an FD and you're getting the interest of around 40,000.
Mhm.
So there was no TDS, but above 50,000 there was a TDS. Like if you're getting an interest 60,000 per annum, there was a TDS of 10%.
Okay.
But now they've increased the slab to 1 lakh rupees
Mhm.
because they've seen that the senior citizens they have the only source of income of that is of interest from the FDs or saving accounts. They don't want to get them into a hassle of filing the returns.
Okay.
So-
Let's come back to the very beginning. Like, though this was my curiosity that I started with a bigger question and now coming down to small. What, Shrey, so what is your general opinion about the new like the budget itself?
Okay.
How do you see, is the economy going to grow? Are there like certain specific changes which you will like to mention here that the industries, due to these, like the budget, are going to get the maximum benefit or are going to like grow faster than expected?
Okay. So Jigarjit, before we come into this question, we have to see the backdrop. 2024 was a tough year. Why? Elections took place, general elections took place, and elections in 3 state assemblies also took place. Accompanied by the major election of US also was there,
Mhm.
right? So the slowdown was bound to happen that time. Now the government, when they have come with such a slab rate or such a budget, what does it depict? It depicts that they want to boost consumption in the economy. So if we go by the simple demand supply logic, no, if there is consumption in the economy, demand will increase. When demand will increase, supply sector will get active.
Mhm.
So economy as a whole will start reviving, will get a boost over the same.
Okay.
And adding to this is the return of Donald Trump's presidency. He has rightly mentioned it before his presidential electorate that he will bring the war to the end. Then they are now on the threshold of the same. Israel Gaza ceasefire is on the verge. Russia is ready to come on the table for the talks. It just implies that there will be revival in the world as a whole. When the budget comes here, they have given up to 12 lakhs exemption. Why? Because they want people to spend more.
Hmm.
It is not to save more, rather to spend more to revive the economic activity. So I think it is in line with, it is rather on the expected lines, and it is a very good boost for the overall economy.
Mhm.
But if we have to dig deep, then if we can say that if I talk of the industry specific sectors, for example, renewable energy got a very lightning shining this time in the budget,
Mhm.
accompanied by the EV segment also. IT sector also got a very good boost in it. So they have given the industry specific also benefits so that these sectors individually can also grow.
Okay. And how about Ajay? So, what do you think about the same thing, like
As I told
general
you,
overview?
as I told you, the budget is very good for the middle sectors
Hmm.
because they want them to not pay more of taxes, rather spend on their own to increase the budget. It is a very growth efficient budget. They also focusing on the MSME sectors like the medium enterprises. They also wanted to grow to them to the sales.
Okay.
They
So
helping the
let's
economy.
let's
Yeah.
pause here. So now we
Yeah.
are at MSMEs and
Yes. Yes.
medium and small industries. So what benefits have this budget got for that particular segment?
Actually, first of all, the government was catering to the like they're having three sectors: it's small, medium, and micro. So these are the enterprises. They're catering that the turnovers are very less. Now they
Hmm.
increase the turnovers to like twice.
Okay.
First of all, it was like 1 CR. Now they have done to 2 CR, 5 to 10 CR, and 50 to 100 CR. So they increase the turnover so that these sectors, so that the government will be able to help them to increase the loans efficiency, because first of all they were providing the loans to 5 CR. Now they've increased the loans to 10 CR
Hmm.
to boost the economy and help the medium enterprises to grow, and the government is supporting them in that.
Okay.
And also they're supporting the export sectors also, because first of all they were providing them to up to 10 CR. Now they've increased the limit to 20 CR,
Hmm.
so that they don't have to look for other avenues or to like for the like investments and everything. The government is there to back them with the funding which they need.
Okay. So Shrey, how much funding do we see coming our way?
In the MSME sector.
Yes, specifically in that, because I think now the turnovers have increased, so I think that will be the major chunk of our economy as we
Okay.
go.
So again, we'll firstly see the overview.
Hmm.
So if we go by the Niti Aayog paper, which is a policy making think tank for the Indian government,
Hmm.
at present we are 17% of the country's GDP comes from the manufacturing sector,
Hmm.
which they aspire, the government aspired that by 2030 it should be 25%. So 8% jump over the GDP is humongous.
Hmm.
Second, a very startling fact is there that India is fifth largest economy of the world at this present moment,
Hmm.
which is bound to become the third largest economy of the world by 2029.
Hmm.
So if we do a from a 3 trillion to $5 trillion, if we say, if it is often laid out in the talks that $5 trillion economy, if India is set to become a $7 trillion economy by 2030, 8% of that is will be a very good figure, a jump, normal jump. That 25% India aspires to. So this budget has set the trajectory for the same.
Hmm.
See, 2030 is a very important year, Jigarjit. Why? Sustainable development goals targets have to be met. Be it in the renewable sector, be it in the poverty elevation program, or be it in the economic spheres. Each and every target is being set on the world as a whole. So this gives the trajectory for the same to aspire to reach at those levels.
Okay, so that means we will, in the upcoming years, at least few years, we will see a lot of boost, if I am saying that
Definitely.
correctly,
Yeah, sure.
for MSMEs specifically.
Right, because one thing is this, and second thing is like one thing which what comes out of analysis is in 2020-24 the government had made a minority stake in the Lok Sabha assembly, right? That is why they need to go for the alliances.
Mhm.
But now they are bringing in one nation one election bill.
Right.
To pass it, at least half of states consent is required.
Hmm.
So if they can come with so determination with that kind of bill, it clearly implies they are here to stay.
Okay.
And if this happens, FIIs will come back because they want a stable government
Hmm.
to which they are ready to give the premium even.
Hmm.
So I believe that 4 years down the line, if I see 4 years, these 4 years are set to be the golden years, and the trajectory, the pace of which will be set from, I believe, March onwards. It will be set on.
And now, as we have come to FII, so how do you see the modern day India, as in, I would say, young people like us, like our age group or below our age group? So, how are they going to invest? So, what will be the major industries you see investments flowing in, and which industries would you invest as an investor?
Okay. Firstly, Jigarjit, we are not in a saturated market. God's grace, we are not in a saturated market. So anywhere, if a person is investing, it is bound to go up. Now the question comes, by what quantum a particular industry will beat the other one. So if I were to dig deep into this, I am very bullish on renewable segment. Renewable is the key ahead, and IT segment also.
Okay.
There are many other, like textiles. If we see, it's a very good burgeoning opportunity now, because unfortunately what has happened in Bangladesh, so much business is set to flow in. And if we see China plus one strategy, the world is adopting, because they do not want to alienate China, but they want to diversify from China. So India marks a very suitable option for the same. Why? We have a skilled workforce, number one. Demographic dividend we have. Demographic dividend, India's average age is 27, 28 years old, the youngest country in the whole world, that to billion plus population country. So FIIs have to come in if they have to make it big.
Okay.
Second thing is renewable segments I look at. IT sector I look at, because if the recent followings, I am sure you must have been apprised of, DeepSeek, China came up with their AI, right?
Right.
And it took the industrialized world, the IT world, into turmoil, like as to what has happened. But it is like a opportunity in disguise, which India has also noticed, and that is why they said कि we will develop our local language model on which our AI will be based.
Okay.
So these two sectors are very prominent in the offering, I believe.
So how, like next question would be very simple one. So they have also mentioned about center of excellences being
Yes.
established in different regions. I think 5 or 6, if I'm not wrong.
Five.
One specifically in the industry of AI.
Right.
So what does that mean for the boost in the AI space in India?
Okay. See, AI, firstly, we have to understand that is here to make our life easier. It is not that it will take jobs. For example, just to talk of that, even when all the revolutions have come in the world, no, they have not taken people out of the job. Only that reskilling is required to adapt the same and become more smart. So one thing, if just example, Jigarjit, I send you 10,000 emails today.
Okay.
Okay. It may take you lifetime to read the same, but you process it through AI, right? It is a fraction of seconds you'll be getting the answer.
Shrey, now you have taken me at a point where I will ask a personal question. So, are you utilizing AI in some way during
Yes,
your analysis?
yes, I do. How I do is because my work is to go through the financial statements, okay,
Like,
and go through what all the meetings have covered up in the respective companies. So instead of reading that 500-page document, I will put in a command as to what were the important decisions taken up. Once I get the nitty gritty of the same, I can dive deep by finding into like control plus F, and I would just find it if where the detail is needed. Otherwise, the synopsis is ready with me. So whereby in a day, or forget about a day, whereby in like 7 days I would just analyze one company. I can take it like 3 4 companies at one point of time only, because we have to go through complete fundamental analysis, balance sheets, what are the future prospects. So all these future prospects, what the management says about, can be easily handled through these tools.
how about so Ajay, if we come talk about the gig economy or gig workers or freelancers, so any benefits coming their way, like any specific benefits which we want to
Yes,
highlight?
actually, the government is very much surprised. They want them. They are taking care of their healthcare. They have given the portal also to
Okay.
register themselves to get the social security benefits and plus the healthcare benefits. So they are very well providing the benefits of this thing.
Okay, so like this brings me to the question that let's say now old, as you mentioned, old age people are benefited some way.
Yeah.
The freelancers are benefited, MSME benefited. So where do you see the scope of like the most benefit? Which portion of these all the segments has got the maximum benefit, and what is that?
They have not provided a maximum benefit to any particular sector. They are providing because as a government as a whole, they are equal. They cannot be biased to any particular sector. But yes, of course, it is. This budget is for the middle sector, like I already said, because they have increased the tax slabs. Not only the 12 lakhs limit, but they've also increased the slab before like 30%. Like now they have increased the 30%. More than 24 lakhs who is earning more than 24 lakhs, only he has to pay 30% tax
Okay.
on slab basis. First of all, it was 15 lakhs. So there's a big jump. So many of the taxes are saved of the person, and they can spend more on their own lifestyles rather than paying it to the government.
Okay, so basically we are saying that this will give a boost to GDP, right? So
Right. If GDP is
how about the
boosted-
inflation? So if the GDP increases, so
Okay.
would the inflation, right? Or
Okay.
is it vice versa? What's your opinion? I'm not an expert on
Okay,
this.
okay. See, inflation was at a very inflection point.
Mhm.
That is why RBI was not cutting interest rates.
Mhm.
But now, after steadily looking at the economy, they have realized one thing, that economy is growing. So it is not a matter of stagflation.
Mhm.
So stagflation is a situation where where the economy would become stagnant and inflation is growing up. But here economy is also growing simultaneously. See, one thing what we have to keep in our mind every time is that 2024 election time was there, so a lot of capital expenditure which was bound to happen went into conduct of the elections only. So to revive the economy out of it, they have to spend. Second thing is inflation is coming into control now. That is why you will see on 7th of Feb that RBI 99% will cut the interest rate by 25 basis point.
Okay.
Why? There is a hint to it. Why it is happening? Firstly, budget slab rates have increased, number one. Second cheese, RBI has started buying bonds from the banks, and that too of 1 lakh crore rupees worth and even beyond.
Okay.
Why? If what does it signify now? It means that suppose you are a bank and I'm RBI. I come to you and I say you that I want to buy a bond from you. If I buy government bonds from you, I'll be giving you cash in return. They are fortifying banks with the cash, that when the rate cuts takes place, they are in a possession to give credit to the people who need it. So inflation is coming under control now, and that is why these economic revival activities are starting to take place. This could have even taken place in the last year, but it did not. Why? Because inflation was peaking, but now it has started reducing, and by subsequent quarters you will see that when economic activity is there, it is reviving, inflation will start coming down even. The real issue arises when the economy becomes stagnant, but it is not a question here. So if and inflation is very healthy, Jigarjit. If there is inflation, it is not that extreme inflation is healthy, quite inflation is healthy. So RBI has a target of 4%. They have to maintain it around 4% plus 2 and minus 2. This is the bandwidth they have to maintain it. 2 to 6% is the inflation they have to maintain in. Earlier it was peaking up, now it is starting mellowing down. So it is overall a very good boost for the economy.
Okay. And how do you see, like, this is a question any one of you can answer. So, how do you see the IT sector and um, the EV sector, the renewable energy sector, as you called it? So, like, major chunk of it as of now is EV sector, right?
Okay.
So, how do you see that growing or benefiting from the union budget this time?
Okay. Again, first we'll see the overview. By 2030, government aspires that 500 gigawatts energy has to be produced from renewable energy. 50% of the energy production which takes place has to be from non-fossil fuels. Okay. Now, if we analyze this budget quite deeply, so around about 256 billion has been put for the renewable sectors. It is quite a jump of 39%. Out of this, 241 billion has been allocated to solar sector now this year. Thirdly is that green hydrogen mission. The government has allocated 600 crores for the same, and they have also brought a nuclear mission that they have to be nuclear. They have to produce 100 gigawatt of nuclear capacity by 2047. So this is in tandem with the government's broader goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2070. And so much budget allocation. See, 39% increase over a particular sector is a huge prospect, no? So it is a shining moment. That is why when you asked me earlier that which sector or stocks has to be invested upon, I said I am very bullish on the renewable energy segment. Second thing, Jigarjit, what it gives us the benefit is that India is a power deficient country. And now you correlate different terms here. See, AI is coming up, data centers are coming up. They will run on energy. And if it is produced through the coal or the fossil fuels, it will lead to global warming. So if these sectors are coming up, they simultaneously, the pillar of renewable energy has to be erected very well to enforce their requirements of energy supply. So this is a very budding uh, industry, which we can say that again will rise till 2030 at least, and at a very good trajectory. Secondly, the thing mentioned of EV. So government has, again, I am not sure particularly about the numbers, but I believe that it is 20% hike from the current allocations of the previous allocations. 20% hike has been done for the EV sector.
What I read was, so there have been some incentives being given on imports.
Yes, basically.
Specifically for like, if correct me if I'm not wrong. So is it for batteries and those things, and like things used to produce EVs? So
Yes.
is it there, or it's
Yes.
like just
Yes, it is.
Okay, so EV sector has got a quite a good boost now because the battery segment has been the taxes which would be levied on imports have been waived off. So custom duties have been laid off, especially in the battery manufacturing. So see, battery manufacturing would require critical minerals, cobalt, zinc, and lithium ion, and so forth. So cobalt powder, if you were to import into India, it is now duty free now. Why? They want to boost make in India production. Again, the MSME segment, if we can also correlate here, that custom duties will be ended. Why? Because production in India can take place. So this is, you are absolutely right when you said that the SOPs have been given by the tax breaks also in terms of imports.
How about Ajay? So how about the export sector? So do we see a boost there? And because exports is one of the things which is country's backbone when it comes to economy and economical growth, right? So what do you see
We
there?
also want to bring the foreign currency into India, and
Yeah.
that is the only way why we can do export only. Yes, the government has promoted the export industry as well by giving backing up with the funds. First of all, they were providing 10 CR, maximum limit was 10 CR. Now it has been increased to 20 CR. So it's been a huge jump from the government perspective. So they are promoting the export of the products.
So, which particular products do you see, or which particular products would be too minute for us to discuss here? Let's say, which industry do you see that will do the anyways, it's IT, but what do you see according to you, which will grow fastest when we are talking about exports?
No, obviously it's IT. Into IT is a service sector, and that too the government is promoting very much, even with the incentives also. State also is giving many incentives. Various states are giving many incentives to the IT sectors. So obviously they're promoting the economy and bringing the currency as well. And even the dollar rupee is declining, but still if we will get the foreign currencies into India and the turnovers will increase. That is the reason the turnovers have increased with the IT sectors, and they are also giving the more profits. This time the result
Right.
IT of the
Absolutely.
IT sector results were very good.
Okay.
Right.
And so I have also seen, I this is not related to the union budget as such, but it will be part of it. So I have seen some government, it was I think Karnataka government or some government, which has given specific policy and guidelines for setting up of GCCs.
Yes.
The
Global compatibility centers.
Yes.
Yes.
So, is that incentive actually going to boost the establishment of the GCCs, or is it just like a gimmick for that government to get like cater more votes?
Okay. See, again, we will take an example here. When ISP were to be formed in India, so they firstly went to Maharashtra. They were declined of the space, that they will not be getting the space, and there would be certain reservation for people residing in that state. Hyderabad welcomed it very well. Now, if we see the IT park of Hyderabad, it is one of the stupendous and a paradigm for the whole country to say.
Yep.
So see, now we come on to the second thing also. See, Bangalore, if we see, or we see Gurgaon, or if we see Mumbai, they're already saturated in terms of pricing.
Hmm.
All people cannot just shift in there. So this is the segment where other states, other cities are also coming up more, that we have a space here, and GCCs could be set up here also.
Hmm.
Like, see, more the number of MNCs would come in, more the stability would come. Why? Because FII will come here and sell off.
I know.
It is as per their discretion.
More SEZs will be
Right,
set
but
up.
GCC, when it comes, it is FDI.
Hmm.
FDI is literally investments into the economy. They cannot just invest and go home there
It's
the
a
next
cash
year.
flow.
Right, they have to be here. So GCC is a very welcoming step. So I would say it will boost the economy. And looking at the example just discussed, it will also host the state also in long term. So I would not say that it is just a vote gimmick, but it is an opportunity for India, for that particular state, and even to the people residing or MNCs abroad, that what you pay $1 there, you can just get your work done at 60 cents, and that to a more professional, more young people in your workforce. So I think it is a very welcome step to celebrate.
Ajay, as a CA, so what trend do you see? So have you seen, like you said, you have been in this for 6 years, and I think I have known you for 3 years now. So have you seen certain trends or changes in the number of people like actually now paying taxes? Has that gone up? And like, do you think the HNIs are the ones who are like taking all the benefits of tax saving, or does each individual has that kind of I would say knowledge or exposure that they can also take benefits of the schemes which our government has?
No, actually, thanks to Instagram and social medias and everything, everyone is very much aware of the social schemes provided by the government.
Mhm.
And that too, in the income tax portal, you can very well see how much returns has been filed till date, and of a particular financial year,
Mhm.
and it's increasing tremendously every year.
Okay.
So there's a huge possibility, obviously, that everyone will file the returns in coming future. But right now, the percentage has increased very much, and everyone is trying to file the return because we are also giving the benefits. Government is also providing the benefit only after you file the returns.
Hmm.
So first of all, we were able to file the 2 years return. Now even the government has given the opportunity. If you have forgot to file the return, you can file from last 4 years.
And you can edit your
Yeah,
modify
we
the
can-
returns
we can
as
do
it.
that. We can do that. Even the NRIs can also file the return if they're having any income over here. And
Okay.
if for the even for their passports to get renewed outside, they need returns. So everyone has to declare their income to the Indian government
Hmm.
and then to file the return. It has become mandatory because you have to avail the subsidy schemes and everything.
Hmm.
You have to file the return.
So, if we talk about certain rebates, so I see old regime had a lot of rebates, though the benefits were less
Yeah.
as compared to the new regime. So, how do you see the? I think now everybody would be shifting to the new regime anyways.
Yes.
But how do you see it?
No, actually, first of all, the government was promoting the reductions like LICs and mutual funds, and even taking a home loan for your own for a self-occupied house. The government is giving the reduction, but in old scheme,
Hmm.
and you can see new scheme, but they have not given any such reductions. But yes, they are promoting the new scheme because there's no such reduction, and you can spend your money at your own wish. You don't
Hmm.
have to like buy a mutual fund.
Hmm.
You don't have to go for ELSS, which is a lock-in period of 3 years, or FD for lock-in period of 5 years.
Hmm.
Now it's your wish. You can even save your money and you can spend anywhere, or you can keep an FD for even for 1 year. Even after that, you are paying less taxes to the government.
Okay.
So government has given a very good taken a very good initiative for this.
And do you see that? So now the tax slabs have gone up. That people up to 12 lakh, earning up to 12 lakh 75,000 as a
Yeah.
salaried employee,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, yes.
So they can claim all the benefits and pay zero taxes. How about the business owners, small business owners who are earning, let's say, 12 lakhs? So how does that go? And simultaneously, if you can explain us that if a business as an entity is earning maybe 15 lakhs so a year, so what taxes are they going to pay, so that our audience can see if it benefits them to like have a firm and bring the earning into a firm rather than getting it as a salary? or as a freelancer they are earning more? So if you can give us the comparison that
Okay.
firm owner will have the most tax benefit, individual or a freelancer.
Yeah, sure. Actually, first of all, you can say about this. It is not about the salaried person. The 12 lakhs limit is for everyone. Even
Okay.
you can say for the businessman. Only for the salaried person, they are given extra benefit is that 75,000 extra standard deduction.
Okay.
Like for a salaried person, they don't have to pay the tax even if they're having a salary of 12 lakhs 75,000. But for other people, it is just 12 lakhs. So and they don't have an employer, so they don't have get the benefit of NPS also
Okay.
for the businessman. So it's just the 12 lakhs limit. And secondly, about the rebate of the tax benefits, like we can go for 20 lakhs example. In 20 lakhs, the normal, I've just done the calculation. In 20 lakhs, you have to pay before, you have to pay the tax of 2 lakh 90,000. Now it just came to 2 lakhs.
Okay. So
So for
90,000.
20 lakhs, 90,000 is the beneficial amount, very much. So you can get a claim maximum up to 1 lakh 60,000 till 24 lakhs. And more than that, it's just 30 and 30.
So the other thing, I was as I was doing bit research before talking to you guys. So I also learned that now they can we can have two houses, and there is a benefit there as well. So what is that benefit? I couldn't understand from.
No, actually, it was before also.
Okay.
But right now, the reductions, regarding the reductions you're asking, right?
Not really. So, according to that statement which I read, it was that earlier when you had the second house, so you had to pay some rental kind of a specific tax on it, the second house.
Actually, it was said to be deemed let out if both the houses are into one state.
Okay.
If you're having different states, then you can.
So
use
there
it
is
for
a
self-occupied.
loophole there as well. So
Yeah.
if it's in the same state
Yes.
and okay.
Yes, but you can get the deduction of interest if you're having a home loan up to two houses. You can get the reduction of interest. In old scheme, you can get for both, like for rental as well as self-occupied, and in new scheme, it's just for the rental.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the difference.
That's good. And so let's move on to specifically the IT sector. So because I have a background in IT, so can't leave it alone for long. So how do you see the IT sector growing? Because I like to hear the laurels about my industry growing.
Okay.
No, the IT sector. You will tell
Acha.
about the results because the results are very good for the
Yeah.
quarter 3.
That would actually help the audience also understand that no matter what, so IT is here to stay because
Okay.
that's the backbone, I think. What's
Okay.
your opinion? I wouldn't opinionate.
Okay. Okay. I'll substantiate to your point. See, first thing is that we have to feel a good feel happy factor is that India is set to change. They are not moving on the rudimentary lines. Now the AI is coming, they are skilling according to that. Now AI is on the verge of exploding. So they have already started off the, as you told about the missions, about the skilling centers they are setting up, right? 500 crore AI mission has been set up for Center of Excellence and Education, right? So see, in any particular industry, if we talk of, peculiarly to IT, most important thing is upskilling and reskilling. And India is moving on those fronts. By this budget, they have announced it. Second thing, Jigarjit, is that again, I would like to take the cue from DeepSeek, a China example. What happened? It was a very startling reality for the world. But they realized that it is possible to make at this level also. So why not we also do it?
Yeah, because
Right?
I read that so they like the US OpenAI actually spent around 500 million or something
Right.
building their first model.
Right.
And this one was done under 6 million. So there is
Right.
a like 100 times
That
difference,
is what.
right?
But what is at this present moment becoming a chunk in that armor is that they made this AI open, DeepSeek, but it was attacked by malicious viruses. So they had to restrict the entry. Now, one thing is certain that this can be made. One thing is certain. Now, second thing is security of the same, on which they'll be working upon, right? On this lines, USA had started a Stargate program. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
$500 billion program. The government has started it. That it will be a privately funded program.
Three big companies.
Yes,
actually
yes, all
partnered in
big
that.
top-notch companies.
SoftBank, OpenAI,
Yes,
and
yes.
what was the third one?
So these all will come together and they will create a model that by 2027 they have an upper hand in this domain. So see, AI is the front runner which will lead to the supremacy of a particular country now.
Okay.
So it is becoming a global affair altogether. And India has also stepped in this exercise. Local language model production, right? Second, the number of youth which are into this IT segment at this present moment, they are bulging more out in this. So IT is here to stay. IT is here to grow at manifold levels, because every company now, at be it the MNC or be it the budding MNC, I would say, they are deploying AI like anything. So IT is a very good prospect. Second thing, if we were to see the our export segment, especially with US, so we are in trade surplus with US. Why? Because our IT exports are so much there. And second thing, the rupee, as Ajay had rightly mentioned, the rupee depreciated. It gives the honor to the country to meet exports at many fold level. Why? Because the services have become cheap for the people staying abroad. So IT is there, and IT is changing, evolving with the needs of the time.
Okay.
So that is very enterprising and that is very exciting.
Okay, so you see me growing.
I see you growing and I see me growing, investing in stocks like you.
And secondly, I would like to add, it is also helping the employment also.
Yeah,
Of
employment
course,
is-
very
of
much
course.
employment is into IT sector, and the government is
Absolutely.
also helping the IT sectors by giving various subsidies.
Uh, yeah.
So it is very
those
much
are there.
government is supporting into this.
And you mentioned US. So I recently heard about tariffs being laid on certain countries like I think
Mexico,
Canada,
Canada,
Mexico, and one more.
Canada, China.
China, yeah.
China.
So all three. So is that a open opportunity for Indians to grow in certain way, or is it that anyways they can impose tariff on India as well? But until that happens, so is it a growth opportunity for India?
Okay. So I will say, Jigarjit, that India is moving very strategically in this domain. Firstly, we'll analyze some of the actions by US. Firstly, they had imposed tariff on Mexico, but that was taken off. Why? They said we had an amazing discussion with them and we have come to certain terms.
Okay.
To Canada, they had but Canada did retaliatory tariffs over them also. Same story went with China. Now we come to India. The first thing what Mr. Donald Trump says is that India is a tariff king. They are trade surplus, and you have to narrow down that trade surplus. On the contrary, USA also says that we have good number of resources in fossil fuels.
Okay.
We will drill more, we will take out, extract oil, gas more. To that level, Mr. Hardeep Puri, our union minister, says that we will be looking into prospects of buying our energy resources from USA. So they are ready to diversify. See, India is playing out its strategic autonomy card very well. When Russia needed it, India was standing there.
Yeah.
Now, when USA needs it, India is also lined towards that. So it is catering to all domains, that is, all countries. So that is a very beautiful move. So we have to appreciate Mr. Jaishankar on this part, especially government, but peculiarly to Mr. Jaishankar on this part. Now, when this thing happens, the trade surplus of India would automatically come down, because if we were to buy energy resources from them. Second thing, it is a matter of, I would say, 1 month or 40-45 days. So because our Prime Minister is going to USA in February. So how the talks take place, then only we can come up with what all is to follow. But as per my knowledge of what I am reading through the newspapers or the journals or following the activities of the government, they are taking it very strategically and it is bestowed in our interest only. Second thing, just as a common example, if I were to say, China, again, as we discussed, a China plus one strategy, and fourth. Second, 10% tariff has been levied on China. But as of now, it is not levied on India. Second thing, there is a solar glut in USA also. But prominent players supplying wind and solar there is Chinese players, not Indian players. So it is not that we'll be impacted directly, only in minute pockets we may get impacted, but that also I would say is very beautifully taken care of.
Okay. So that brings me to the our budget and back to our budget. I mean, so as we have discussed the global outlook and now the policies made, like this is part of geopolitics, of course, that
Right.
the politics happening in one country will affect the
Right.
economy of the other country.
Other country, right.
So if we look at our union budget, which countries are going to benefit the most? Is there certain like imports and export? We have some incentives announced. So according to you and your knowledge about the incentives, which countries do you see upcoming as the most beneficial out of this whole?
Beneficiaries out of this. Okay. See, firstly we have to again analyze through a broader prospect. If we say China is factory of the world, Europe is the one sitting with inventions, patents. US is again sitting with patents and inventions. They may be having that technology, but they have to make it somewhere.
Hmm.
The pocket friendly pricing is available in India for the
Right.
production. Second thing is most important thing today is that Jigarji, today everything is data driven, right?
Right.
Today maybe you are having this podcast, you are taking out time because you believe that numbers would rise up in awareness only, that who would see this, and there may be certain numbers that you may be aspiring. That is why you are undertaking this podcast and we have also come together here, right? India, a billion plus population country, friendly to almost every other nation. And we are friendly, it is our in our trade to be friendly, right? Data is the new oil of the world economy and it is flowing through India, right?
I can't agree less.
Right? So this is the point that if we were to say the countries which are holding patents, which are holding innovations, technology, they will benefit. Second, if we will see it more broadly, we can keep one segment as IT, other is the electronic manufacturing. We cannot discount it.
So
Please.
So basically, sorry, I'm
No,
interrupting.
no, please.
So I see, according to where you are taking us, so I see US and Europe being most benefited out of this, because most of the European countries will set up their manufacturing plants of the EVs in India, or at least ask us to manufacture the batteries and send it there. And the other country would be US, of course, because they will be outsourcing their services to us.
Right. And secondly, see, if the electronic components we would say, so Dixon Technology is making $1 billion semiconductor hub. See, the more it gets diversified, it is not strangulated to one nation, the more it would benefit the world only. So Taiwan is a hub, right, for electronics.
Of course,
But now India is
semiconductors.
also, yes, electronics, semiconductor. But India is altogether is coming as a hub of the same.
This actually, I think COVID helped us
Immensely
bringing
helped
it here, because there was no second option. So, like the world
Right.
wanted the second option.
Even if we can say, Jigarjit, that unfortunately again what happened in Bangladesh, we are getting our systems ready so that the global disruption in manufacturing does not happen in textile segments.
Right.
Again, so it is a very inspiring opportunity. India is literally a very big growth story.
Okay. So, I being part of this growth story, and so both of you. So, what do you think? Like the US has been helping India. Like we have a strategic partnership with US. That is what I see, even if it is not in a written state or whichever way. So, do you see more outsourcing hubs entering India in the future, or the ones already established will grow more?
Okay. See, again, we'll take certain broad view. When unfortunate Ukraine-Russia war happened, right? A lot of tariffs, lot of restrictions were put on Russia. So Russia did what? They said we'll supply you limited CNG now, natural gas. Okay. Now Europe is like, there are very harsh winters there, and energy is needed to run their factories, to regulate their home environment also. But when this prices started getting risen up, one thing was very certain, that firstly we have to take care of our population. Then we'll think about producing something. Firstly, we have to be alive.
Right.
Now, the production variable cost of the economy as a whole went surgingly up and is still very high. So, India as a center, again, pocket friendly labor, there is resource development. Of course, one can argue that there is a lot of unemployment, but on the contrary, if we see, a lot of happenings are also undertaking, like skilling, reskilling, and thereby more outsourcing should be here. It should be not for offshoring will not take place. I am very certain about this, because if the war were to end, there needs to be brought stability in that domain. Till the time India has a very big leverage that more outsourcing will take place, more countries will come here, develop, and it is also a geographical factor. See, you see the position of India in the world map. Indian Ocean, Southeast Asia, right? Then you, if you go up Central Asia, then you connect to Europe. That is why India is coming with India Middle East Economic Corridor. That it will be a connection to the Asia countries, then it is to apna Europe, finally to Russia. So this is being developed. So I think there is more prospects of businesses coming into the country.
And so this was more of a global outlook. Ajay, if we come back to the individual earnings
Yeah.
and the cost of living, so
Yes.
how do you see the cost of living in next 3 months? Like coming time, I won't say 3 months wouldn't affect much, but maybe a year down the line, this union budget will affect our cost of living in which manner and which direction?
No,
Will it go down? Will it go up?
cost of living, obviously, due to, you can see the spending power of the people are increasing day by day, and also the government is helping them by paying the less taxes and everything, giving the subsidies and all these things. So obviously, the cost of living, you can say in the terms of their like
Expenditure.
expenditure, it will increase, but not in the costing of a particular thing, because the standard of living
Okay.
is increasing day by day. So as the spending power also.
Spending power. So what I get from this is spending power will increase,
Yes.
but cost may decrease.
Yes.
Or no?
Because people are going into more into luxuries now.
Okay.
First of all, their like necessities was normal, but now luxuries have become the new comfort. So that is
Okay.
why.
Okay. And so now we see India as a growth story,
Yeah.
and let's say 5 years down the line, how do you see India? One thing, and one sector which we haven't touched so far is sustainable living, sustainable businesses. Both of you, how do you see these things? So one thing is, of course, IT is growing, so anybody coming into IT will benefit as a business owner or as an individual who wants to join the ecosystem. But how do you see it in 5 years, and is it going to be more sustainable as a business? That is for you. And as living standards, do you see sustainability coming in the, like as you mentioned, global warming and our like commitment to reduce global warming and going carbon neutral and those things? So how do you see India moving in that domain?
Okay. See, sustainability is a clause which India has attached now to its working. Normal example is that I'm sorry, I'm oblivion to which company did it. They established a very big data center. Simultaneously, they established a very big solar park also,
Okay.
which will sustain it. So these are moving in tandem. Firstly, see, second thing is when the incomes rise, Jigarjit, as Ajay rightly mentioned, needs, wants, luxuries, the hierarchy starts escalating up. So the standard of living is set to go up higher even. I believe that will go, because India being a $3 trillion economy and becoming $5 trillion or beyond dollar economy by 2030, as discussed, that we are at fifth largest economy and being third largest by 2029-30. So standard of living will increase simultaneously. Only one thing is that we have to avoid the middle income trap. Usually countries get engulfed in that, but India is doing very well in the same domain. Why? If you would see the economic aspect of India vis-a-vis the countries as a whole, we were the agrarian economy. Then manufacturing never picked in it was altogether the service sector which picked up.
Mhm.
But now the gap is being filled. As we discussed, from 17 to 25%, Niti Aayog has put out the policy paper. So we'll be avoiding that middle income trap even as the policy dictates. So if government goes in that direction only. So sustainability is a hand-in-hand relation which is being taken place. And I see a very beautiful example nowadays that in schools also, like from our age also, it was being taught that if you're brushing, you need to close the tap because it is a finite resource. Water is a finite resource. I think that I'm 31 years old right now, so I did my schooling 16, 18 years back. So these things also have been
You mean
progressing
the
at that
culture?
level. Culture would have been more evolved, and it is smart concept now being taken up in the schools. So I believe the upcoming generation will be more educated, more aware in these enterprises as an individual, and overall government is also putting a broader scape that we have to take both hand in hand. I believe so.
Ajay, how do you see the same thing in the light of sustainable businesses? Sustainable businesses, I mean, so let's say I take a 1 billion rupee loan, or 1 billion is too much. Let's say 10 million loan, 100,000 something.
Yeah.
And do you see, first of all, government giving it to me, and if we get it, so do you think in 5 years I can make a sustainable business out of it? This is from the perspective of an individual who's just getting out of college, and he's thinking of starting a business, and he has a big idea, he has some investors, but needs government support. So do you see the current union budget actually looking towards that and helping that individual, or is it more of helping people like me who are already there, who have been in the industry for 10 years or
No,
whatever?
actually, government is working on this from since very beginning, not just in this budget, because it is happening in the before budgets also.
Hmm.
They've already given many subsidies like PMAGP, CGTMSC, entrepreneur. They're promoting women entrepreneurships very
Yeah.
well. Yeah. So they are giving the subsidies on these all things from the very beginning. Even not even the service sector, they're also promoting the manufacturing sector also,
Okay.
like providing the machineries to them even at the subsidized prices, and also providing the waiving the loans at interest rates at a very minimum rate, and also they're giving the subsidies back. You don't have to pay the whole amount of loan back to the banks. The government will pay on this on your behalf. And even the insurance policy, you don't have to, first of all, the bankers were like, you bring the collateral, then I'll provide you the loan. But now the government is providing the collateral from their end, and they're just providing you the loan so that you work and you don't have to worry about all these things.
So do you see more NPAs with this,
Not
or
really.
is it like more risk averse because it's backed by the government?
No, to your surprise, actually, the NPA ratio has been decreased.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the government is supporting in the business also. It's not just that if they're providing the loan and they are just stopping it. They are also helping you to grow your business by giving you subsidies, like exporting also. And export also, they're helping you in many ways. So they're providing you, and Make in India concept the government is providing.
Right.
It, like you can say, like vehicles. First we were importing into India. Now we have set up the factories into India, and we are manufacturing over here. So it's not only one car, but you can see the one wire is being bought from the small industries like nut bolts and everything. So all the industries are being helped by one big vision. It's not just the one industry.
That is actually nice to hear that though we are giving, like as a country, we are giving support, but the risk is decreasing day by day, and overall startups are increasing. Coming to startups, so I have also heard that the registration date has changed, like the year, that before 2030, if you are registered or something like that, you can get the subsidies and the incentives of a startup. So
Yes, actually, government is very much boosting the startup sector because they want the college students not only to go to the employment, they're looking for job. You have to create jobs rather than taking a job. So
Okay.
government is vision is this. Government is also helping you into startups, like they're giving you the like you can say seed funding. The government is already providing that. The
So-
seed
so
funding, you
it
don't
is-
have to even pay back to the government. It's
Okay.
just a seed funding for
Mhm.
yourself. You grow the business. You just have to pitch the idea to the government. They provide you the seed funding for this thing, and you have to grow the business.
How can the students or individuals avail this?
They can go to the Startup India website.
Okay.
And we can
So
mail it. It's
directly
very easy.
they
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
not a problem. They have set up the incubation centers all over India.
Okay.
You can just apply it online. There's no no manual hassle and everything. You just have to do it online, and you can go into, you can get registered, and you can get it up. And also you can get the tax benefits out of it.
Hmm.
You don't
That
have
is-
to even if you are having a profit of like 10 CR, you don't have to pay even a single penny to the government.
Okay.
And under startup, if you are registered under startup.
Okay. And what are the additional compliance and formalities under that?
There are certain forms which we have to fill. First of all, you have to get registered under section, you can say 80 IAC under Income Tax Act.
Okay.
You have to get registered
Mm-hmm.
under this thing, and then you can get, at the filing the return, you can have to file additional income tax forms.
So let's
But
while
the government is making very easy.
the compliance.
Yeah, compliance.
Yeah, that is needed anyway. So
Yeah.
looking from a business person,
Even a normal salaried person can file their return on their own.
yeah, now they
First of
can.
all, yeah, first of all,
Now
we need to
earlier
have-
we had to find Ajay to do it for us.
My work has been decreased.
So coming to the last segment of today's talk we are having, what would like be your 2 cents, Shrey, towards the growing India? Like anything you can summarize what we have talked, or anything additional you want to add in like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever time you want to take.
Okay.
But for the growing India, what would be your last few words for today's talk?
So, how would be the growing story, or how
No,
it should
how
be?
do you see it? And
Okay.
so let's say we have my audience would be majorly, as we talked earlier, as before the talk, that it would be freelancers, it would be founders, like young founders or professionals who are just getting into the ecosystem. So those are my major like people who will be viewing this. So what do you think, and what would be the points you would like them to think more from the investment point of view, from the analytics industrial point of view? Your stage.
Okay. See, I'll summarize our talk and I'll do certain additions over the same, right? Firstly, India is not a saturated market. We have to understand this. If earlier was the time that if you want to make a good living, you go abroad and you take the businesses there or the jobs there. But if you want to create an immense wealth, if you have that thing, India is the right position to be in. We are not a saturated market, firstly.
A lot of opportunity.
Right, that goes for it. Second thing, whatever is happening around the world is in a way connected to India and China.
Mhm.
Without population, you cannot do anything. For example, today, if I were to develop just a detergent, what if I don't have a population? Who could I could pitch to? In India, we have that population, right? Anything or everything happening in the world is around about centered around these two economies. Unfortunately, China, due to its hostile behavior, it leaves India at a very sweet spot. Thirdly, India is a growth trajectory. It happens once in a lifetime opportunity, we can say. Again, the demographic dividend we are sitting over. So, anything, whether you produce outside, you have to bring certain things into India. Whether you want to get it produced at a good price, you have to come to India. So, it is a growing story, firstly. Second, if I were to talk about investments, I will give you just one example because we are apprised of so many clients with us. So one client started his SIP in 2008 when his daughter was just 9 months old. So 2008 he gave only 3 installments, and till 2024 it was a continuous affair. The child is now 16 years 2 or 3 months. 5,000 SIP the client did. It tantamounts to the total contribution was 9,39,000. But its total valuation is now 57,61,000.
Okay.
If the investments are done right, India can be financial independent as well. but the financial literacy has to be spread to the households.
The awareness.
Yes. So whatever you do, no matter how much you earn, it is not that if you are beyond 1 lakh or 2 lakh monthly, then only you can dedicate it to certain proportion you can dedicate to investments. Irrespective what you're earning, if you're earning 25, learn the habit of thrift saving. That thrift saving has to be in thrift investments that can create a very good corpus in 15 to 20 years, because as of now you don't need a pension fund. These small calculative steps can take you 100 steps ahead. So India is on that trajectory. No matter where you are working, but investment sides you have to avail those opportunities. Move those in tandems, you will be a financially independent person and you will be on a growth trajectory as India is aspired to move. Second thing, last thing I would summarize it with, that India says that 2022 we achieved 75 years of independence. 2047 would be 100 years of independence. It is termed as Azadi Ka Amrit Kal. It means that this is the golden period, that in 25 years we want to make India a developed nation. So 2047 is the vision of government. See, government may change, but the bureaucracy doesn't change. May change after 5 years, but all these papers are laid with the help of bureaucrats, with the senior think tank officials, which are there to stay. All these are prepared by them, and government only gives a boost to them, which is, I would say, aptly done by this government even. So if we say the horizon of till 2047, if we were to be a developed nation, there are a lot of opportunities which will be coming our way, either through direct investments or our direct participation in terms of entrepreneurship. So one should avail these opportunities well.
So I can summarize your talk in 2 or 3 minutes. So it
Right.
would be an intelligent investor.
Right.
Like if you earn money, spend it intelligently. That
Right.
is the major agenda. And if you are an investor, uh, invest in industries like EV, IT,
Right.
and manufacturing.
Maybe that if one is not apprised of equity market that much, it is completely fine. Go with mutual funds, but be selective and be smart in the taking of the same. Because I always rephrase one thing: SEBI comes with a guideline, mutual fund sahi hai, but according to me, as per my experience in the market and the industry, sahi mutual fund बहुत सही है. It is not that every mutual fund sahi hai. So if you learn that distinction, or you could find a person or a mutual fund house to do the same for you, then you are set right. Irrespective what you are earning, where you are earning, if you take dedicated investment, just frugal thrift money and put it into monthly investments, you can make it very big, because the time period is very golden for India till 2027 or 47 at least.
Okay.
So this is my take.
Thank you, Shrey.
Right.
And Ajay, so from the tax viewpoint, you how do you see, like, is there an increase in number of taxpayers that we have already discussed?
Yes.
That there is, and how much contribution do you see from that increase in the taxpayers? So let's say the tax slabs have gone up, right?
Yes.
This is the ending segment. Don't worry, I won't be asking more questions. We will leave it for Q&A from our audience, and ask you later. So what would be the contribution in the tax? And because of the tax slab going up, there will be more people paying the tax, but less tax coming in. So do you see that as a trend, or is it just like somebody thinking out loud sort of?
No, actually, we are a big population.
Mhm.
But first of all, like you would see before trend, only 1% of people were filing the returns.
Mhm.
Now, if you just imagine if this comes to 10%,
Mhm.
even if you are paying less taxes, but as a government as a whole will get more taxes.
Okay.
So that this is the vision of the government, so that they are giving the tax, they're setting the people to pay less taxes, so that more of the people file the return and tell their income, declare their income to the government, which is very good on their part. And secondly, the government will get the more taxes, even if they're taking the less taxes from each of the person. But as a whole, it will be very much amount.
Okay.
And secondly, it is all. I would like to add to this thing also. Money saved is money earned, obviously.
Right.
When the
Right.
taxes will be saved, people will be saving
Either-
it there or spending on their ourselves rather than paying it to the government. And also they would be happy to declare the income to the government as well.
Yes.
If the government will be taking more of the taxes, they will find out the ways to hide it.
Reduction in black money.
Yes.
So, what I have seen is there was a time when our government had imposed 97% as a tax on certain amount back in 1961 or something. I can't remember the year while I was reading the history. So that was a time when people learned how to hide money
Yeah.
because 97%, right? So if you are earning 1 lakh rupees over that tax slab limit,
Yes.
so you are giving
Okay.
97,000 to the government and you are getting 3,000. Why would you earn, right?
Yes.
So, if my opinion on your take is very, the government should be, it is very sensible, the things it is doing and the incentives it is giving. Those are for the benefits of the individual and growth of the country.
Right.
So, I think that's our take on this. And I would like to thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for
And,
having us.
And it was great talking to you. And I will let the audience ask more questions on
Definitely.
this post
Definitely.
whenever we post this, and I will take those questions back to you.
Right.
For
Right.
sure, we'll
We'll
try
be
to
waiting.
solve it
Right.
immediately.
Thank you very much for
Right.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.